What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I know in the last video I said I'd be wearing this thing on my head while I take apart the engine, but it was early, I wasn't really in the mood, so I didn't put it on my head, but I got the engine disassembled. So we'll go over here, we'll show you the block, the bare block. This is what's left of the crankshaft here. So as you can see, it was broken off at the last counterweight like you guys saw in the previous video. And in here we have my stock LS3 block. As you can see, some of the bearings are a little chewed up, but that's all right. Nothing is through the bearing. Nothing has been eaten to the block or anything like that. Let's cover this back up. So this will be heading down to the machine shop here shortly. If we walk over here, we got a couple other blocks that we're assembling here for customers. Walk over here. This is kind of like my shelf at this point. So I got my little underdrive pulley balancer, my motor mounts, my front cover, everything like that. And we can walk around to the other side. And we got my pistons and rods. I mentioned before that two of these rods are bad. They are somewhere in here. They're all chewed up. So two rods are bad. All the pistons have to be replaced. So I'll just have those pistons, and then I got my valve train and some other stuff here. And then if we go over here, I kind of got my stuff scattered all around the place right now, just because I've been in the process of taking stuff apart and just kind of getting stuff done. So I got my filter for my turbo, my whole turbo system. This is the oil pan, and as you guys can see, there's definitely some gnarliness inside the oil pan. I mean, just it's not good, no bueno. A lot of bearing material. Pretty much the last two bearings on the rod bearings, the last two, which ended up taking out the rod, they just got chewed up and sent everywhere. Now, because of that, I do have to send my turbo out, because my turbo actually feeds off the same oiling system. It has a small little filter, like it just catches big pieces from going into the turbo itself, but most of that is, it doesn't, the metal's so small going through, it's going to eat it up. So if we come up here, this is my turbo. As you can see, I'm trying to find a box to put it in. 8891 billet Gen 2. It's a little beat up. This is right here is where it was rubbing on the fan. The other side, you can see where it touched the balancer once or twice. But overall, I mean, I keep a filter on this. The impeller looks brand new. Really no damage at all. And I've had this turbo on the car for about 2.5 years. And I daily drive on it, drove it in the rain, did everything with it, and it just hung in there. It's a really good piece. So that's kind of where we're at with this. I have to send it back just as a precautionary measure, make sure nothing in the internals are chewed up. So if we go back over here to all the parts, I got some other miscellaneous stuff, my water pump, my fuel regulator, the turbo kit itself. I have lifters in there for the salty chicken. I have some parts for the salty chicken mixed in here. This was the salty chicken's cart for a while until the Cowmaro went down. This is the stock LS3 intake, hydro dipped by Kyle at Coker Chassis at the time, which did a great job. My Holly fuel rail 1700X injectors. So just kind of going over a couple of things that we got going on with this, and it's a really, I mean, I've loved this intake. Will I make the change to another intake? Yes, if the gains are there and it's a nice piece for the right price, I definitely will. But any of you guys out there on stock LS3 intake and stock throttle body, I mean, just let it ride. If you got boost will find its way in there. So that's like kind of my spiel there. What I got going on with the way that it broke at the back of the crankshaft caused the flex plate to wobble. So here's a flex plate, not a flywheel. Flex plate is for automatic cars, flywheels are for manuals. It kind of wobbled, and what that could do is that could cause damage to the pump in the transmission. It could bend the input shaft. It could do another number of different things that will cause underlying issues in the future. So as a precautionary measure, we're going to take that out. I'm going to send the converter out, get that freshened up, make sure it's all clean, everything's good to go, send that to Dusty at PTC. Great job. He spec'd that turbo. Love it more than anything. Then I'm going to send the transmission down to Mike's transmission down the road. He built it last time. Just have everything checked out, make sure all the angles are good, freshened up, put new clutches. That trans only has probably 10 passes on it. No, it probably has 20 passes on it since Mike freshened it up last, and it's done really well. And then the other thing is the car has a big oil cooler. There's a B&M oil cooler in the back of the car, so I got lines that run all the way to it. When I flush the lines out, being at that oil cooler had a ton of metal in it. You can get them flush, but putting a fresh motor in there and then just spending the money to flush it, it's like $150 Probably make myself feel better if I just get a new one and put that in there. So at that point, I would know there's no issues. I know everything's going to be clean and good to go. We're going to reuse the oil pan. Cleaning this out is really no big deal. We got a parts cleaner over there, so we'll knock that out. But yeah, I mean, this is just a little update. We are moving along on the Cowmaro. Like I said, today is Thursday. I 2-dayed all my engine parts, so I should have them here Friday, so everything can go down to the machine shop Friday so they can get started on it next week. Hopefully I can get it back at the end of next week or early the following week and start to reassemble it. I still got my LME ported LSA heads. They work fine. They got the valve springs on them, so we're good there. I'm just kind of ready to get everything back together. Putting everything back in the car is another story. I'm going to talk with Dusty how long he's looking at for the converter. Mike's quick with the turnaround time on the transmission, so I kind of got the ball rolling. It's expensive, I'm not going to lie. It's pretty expensive, so we're doing everything we can to get everything done and back together as quick as we can, but also we're going for perfection. That motor did really well to me. How many miles and how many passes I have on that thing to stand up as well as it did. Kind of to go out the way it did was kind of glorious. You know, it definitely made its last sacrifice on the dyno. But I mean, most of those bearings in there look brand new, which is absolutely awesome. That shows how well that engine's been to me. So other than that, it's just a quick update. It's here Thursday morning. You guys will probably see this Friday morning, hopefully. I might be going to the track later, I'm not sure, but I hope you guys enjoy this video. Go down and get some Cowmaro merch. Check out RPM Motorsports, because that's where I'm at. It's the best place on earth. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.